everybody. It's me, Trav Moco, from the Trav Moco Show. But this is not going to be a full show. Just a little quickie. And everybody loves a quickie. I don't want to talk about the Super Bowl real quick because I want to get my Super Bowl prediction out there so that when I'm right, I can say I told you so and no one can refute that fact. So this is more for me than it is for you. No, it's for you too. I have some cool stats here, some cool facts real quick. Again, this will only be about 10, 15 minutes tops. Maybe not even that long, but I just want to get a few things out there just for fun to preview the biggest sports day of the year in America, the Super Bowl Sunday, everyone's favorite. And a few stats that are kind of fun to look at. Mainly one of the big ones, obviously Peyton Manning's age. Peyton Manning is 13 years and 48 days older than Cam Newton. This is the largest gap between starting quarterbacks in Super Bowl history. He's also going to be the oldest quarterback to start a game in the Super Bowl. So he'll be the oldest quarterback to start. It would be the largest age. I almost said wage gap. Well, not much of a wage gap between those two. They're both very well paid. I think Peyton makes a little bit more than Cam, but I think that's going to change because Cam is going to be getting a new contract one way or another here. So yeah, this is the third straight Super Bowl where the two number one seeds are facing off. The Broncos are making their 8th Super Bowl appearance. That's going to tie them with the Patriots, Steelers, and Cowboys, who all have been at 8 Super Bowls. But of those teams, the Broncos, who are entering their 8th, win or lose, will still have the worst win percentage of those teams. Steelers are 6-2. The Patriots have won 5. I think they're 5-3. Cowboys are 5-3. And the Broncos are entering this one at 2-5. So win or lose, they'd be 3-5 or 2-6. So it's impressive they went to a bunch. Now, John Elway is one who took them to a lot of those Super Bowls. They went to 3 in the 80s, and 3 in 4 years, actually. It was 86, 87, 89, I believe. And they lost all 3 of those, and then they came back and won back-to-back in 97, 98 with Super John Elway went out. But that's not how I foresee it going tomorrow. See, one of the big things about the Cinderella send-off that in recent memory with Jerome Bettis with the Steelers in 2004 and then the Ravens and Ray Lewis in 2013, 2012, those guys didn't play a big part in their team's victories. They were aging stars. Bettis, barely played in the Super Bowl. He was splitting time with Willie Parker. Ray Lewis was banged up. I mean, he played most of the game, but it's not like he had a super impressive stat line. Those guys were carried, even though they get the nod of the recognition of they rode off into the sunset with a Super Bowl title, which is completely true. They themselves were not much of the reason for that victory when they had them. And this is different because Peyton Manning has to be the guy. And Peyton Manning's never really been the guy in big games, and that's just a fact that's if you're a Peyton Manning fan, it's hard to swallow, and if you're not a Peyton Manning fan, it's it's interesting more than anything because it's rare to see such a great player kind of fade in the game's biggest moments, and even the Super Bowl that he has won was a little bit due to other factors, going his way, as opposed to him having some sort of great performance. And then the 2 that they lost were very much on his shoulders. The one when he played for the Colts, they lost to the Saints. He threw a very costly interception at the end of the game that was returned for a touchdown that sealed it for the Saints. And we don't even need to go back to the Broncos-Seahawks Super Bowl from 2 years ago. We all know what happened there. An absolute train wreck for Peyton. And I just don't see a Cinderella story coming out of this. Peyton Manning, couldn't get it done 3 times when he was a little bit younger in full health. Well, he got it done 1 out of the 3. I'm sorry, he didn't really play that well in the Super Bowl they won. That's really my point here. Is I don't expect the 39-year-old Peyton Manning to finally have the have what it takes to put it all together. I don't know. Maybe he'll play looser because he knows it's his last game. But I just don't see it. I just as much as that Cinderella story looks good, I don't see it happening. And also, I'm going to give you some personal things too. Throughout the week, I'm really on the fence. I've been going back and forth. I really didn't know. It's the first time in a long time that I haven't had a definitive, yes, this is who I think will win, this is who I want to win. So it was very strange for me to even have to debate with myself on who I was going to pick and why. And earlier in the week, I was getting convinced by other friends and family to, that they were all rooting for Peyton because they wanted to see him go off with the championship, his last game, the Cinderella story. It's a cool ending, you like the guy, you respect them, whatever. That's fine. I was like, yeah, I'm for that. And so I'm going to root for them. But then when I started thinking about making my actual pick and putting a bet, putting money on the line, now it's only $10. And I was like, well, no, wait a second. I don't know if I really want to put my money on Peyton Manning. I know it's only $10, but I'm not wasting. I just feel like I was throwing away my money. I don't have any confidence in the Broncos winning that game. If you're gonna go intangible by intangible, 10, the defenses are even. They're 1 and 2. However you want to cut it, they're the top two defenses in the league. But the offenses are way different. Cam Newton in that Carolina offense Cam Newton is better than Peyton Manning right now. The running back, Jonathan Stewart, is better than C.J. Anderson or Hillman, whoever they have out there. The receivers now, the Broncos do have the edge there. But the O-line, I would say that Carolina has an edge. So the offense is, if the defenses are even and special teams are relatively even, if everything's even and you're just going strictly on the offenses, Carolina has a much better offense. And Denver hasn't put up points all year. They've completely relied on their defense to make life miserable for the other teams. Now, they've done a great job. I mean, after what they did to Tom Brady, it's easy to see. It's easy to say, "Oh, well, look what they did to Brady." Now, they should be able to do the same with Cam Newton. Well, Cam Newton is a completely different animal. He's way younger. He's faster. It's a different style of offense. I don't expect it to be a high-scoring game. Or at least I didn't. Again, that's another thing I was thinking earlier in the week. I was thinking, well, probably going to be a low-scoring game. But then I thought, no. The only thing that's going to be low-scoring about it is that Peyton Manning won't be able to move the ball. They're not going to move the ball against Carolina. It's going to take some other things to happen for them to get up and down the field. And I just don't see that happening. Now, for selfish reasons, as a Steelers fan, personally, this is Peyton Manning's 4th Super Bowl. He's also his 4th Super Bowl with a 4th different coach. So 4 Super Bowls he's been to a different head coach every time. That's impressive. He's also the first quarterback ever to go to multiple Super Bowls with multiple teams, 2 with the Colts, 2 with the Broncos. But I'm ready to see Cam Newton take the pedestal as this great elite player. I don't, I like seeing him play on the field. I kind of like how he is, and for selfish reasons, as a Steeler fan, I think I was getting to that. Big Ben has won 2 Super Bowls, been to 3 now. Peyton has been to now 4. He's won 1. It could be 2. But the Broncos already own the record for the most losses in the Super Bowl at 5. No one has more Super Bowl losses than they do, so I don't have to worry about that. If they win, that's 3 Super Bowls. They can't catch Pittsburgh on that. But what Peyton Manning can do is have 2 Super Bowls, which would be equal to Ben and his brother Eli. And Peyton Manning's going to have enough records that Ben and Eli won't touch. And I have nothing. Nothing bothers me about him not having this one, because he's still going to be great, still going to be Hall of Famer. But would it be nice to see him win? Sure. But here's another thing about Cam Newton, that he's going to make history if he wins, and they will. And I'm going to give you a score here in a second. When they win, Newton will become the first quarterback ever to win the College Football National Championship, a Heisman Trophy, and a Super Bowl as a starting quarterback. So, they'll be the third team in NFL history with an 18-win season. They'll be 18-1 overall. So, boy, it's tough. I've been back and forth. But here's how I see it. 24-16 late in the fourth quarter. You're only down 8, so you got a chance. Peyton Manning's moving the ball down the field, and what do we got here? A repeat of the Super Bowl against the Saints. He'll throw an interception. I don't know about an interception for a touchdown, but maybe he will. He'll throw a pick 6. Let's just say that. Throws a pick 6, and that'll be the end of it. Peyton Manning will solidify his mark in history as a great quarterback who can never win a big game. And this time it's a little different because he's older. So you're not. I'm not going to be as harsh on him because I almost expect him not to get it done this time, as opposed to other times where I expected more out of him. But this time I don't expect that much from him. So, final score, and here's my Super Bowl prediction: Carolina 31, Denver 16. Again, Carolina 31, Denver 16. Your MVP, without a question, would be Cam Newton because he's going to be the guy. He'll probably have, here's another prediction. I'll give you 3 touchdowns, 2 passing, 1 rushing, or either way. I don't know. I don't even know why I went that far and said that. 3 touchdowns from Newton one way or another. And, he'll be your MVP. 31-16, Carolina over Denver. That's my prediction. And you can take it to the bank. It's just not going to happen. It's, fairy tales are nice and all, but this isn't a fairy tale sport. It's. I'm afraid that this is going to be ugly because of precedent. Peyton Manning's given us enough chances to prove that he can get it done. Now, I know the argument's going to be, well, that defense and there's a lot of intangibles and whatever, but when you break it down bit by bit. The thing that stands out is the one common denominator is those offenses. If those defenses are equal, like I said, and those offenses, that's what's going to be the deciding factor. Carolina's offense is way better than right now, than Denver's. So 31-16, Carolina over Denver. I will do a Super Bowl recap show, a full show, and talk about some of the other things about the game. And the race issues with the media-made race issues, which is completely ridiculous. I don't know. I thought about talking about that on this one, but I didn't. This one would be a quickie. And everybody loves a quickie. So I just wanted to get in and out and be done with it. So there you have it. 31-16, Carolina over Denver. Give me a like. Give me a follow. I appreciate you listening. Again, this is Trav Moco of the Trav Moco Show, the one, the only. And I will be back on Monday with a full podcast covering the Super Bowl in its entirety, reviewing everything that happened. And I will see you then. Thanks for listening.